Hi everybody, it's Claire back with another art journal video, and this one is day 14 of the Art by Marlene Advent calendar. So I'm just going to grab it out of the envelope, and it's this fabulous circle stencil. I'm going just cutting the top off the envelope to use to make a tab. I think this is one of my favourite stencils so far. I love circles. something about them. They are just lovely to work with, and this stencil is really cool. So I'm starting off with a bit of gesso on my tag because I wanted to initially make my first layer a bit of reductive stenciling. So I'm going to pop some paint on and then wipe some away through the stencil. Plop too much gesso out on my tag. As always, it's either too much gesso or too much matte medium, never just the right amount. And I've popped this piece of black paper underneath just to make it a little bit easier for you guys to see what's actually happening. So I'm starting off with heather on my tag and just pulling that over all of the tag, and then I'm going to use a baby wipe which isn't too wet and just lift some of that paint through the stencil. Isn't that cool? Just look at that. It's brilliant. I love it. I was so excited when I saw this one came out of the envelope. I was like, oh my gosh. And then I'm just going to build up a dotty background using lots of rainbow colours and pulling them through the stencil, and apparently spreading colour where I don't want it to be. So I'm using sponges to do this because I can kind of be a bit more deliberate with where the colour goes. But yeah, just adding on the little dots of colour. Then I'm just going to build up the colours, so I'm going to work through the colours that I want to use. Of course, they're all rainbow colours, and I'm just popping those in so that sometimes they overlap. They sit nestled next to each other. It's just about building those layers in this process now. So I'm just working my way through the colours, and as you can see it's starting to build up that nice layered effect. So obviously I'm using Dina Wakley media colours, so I've used ruby tangerine, lemon lime, I think then turquoise, and I use magenta and blackberry, and I've also got a little bit of permanent red violet light on my mat there to the left, and so I used a bit of that up too. It's starting to look really pretty though. I did actually end up cutting some of my sponges in half just so I could be a little bit more careful with where I was placing the colours. Made it a little bit easier to just get them through one of the circles or two, rather than kind of using adding in bits of other circles too. Okay, so I was happy with how that kind of layered up and built up. I then grabbed a circle stamp from Art by Marlene. This is a lovely one that's got kind of bits of doodling in the circles, and I've just used black archival ink and I'm just pulling that across the tag. So again, just layering more circles on there as well. Then I'm edging the card using the black ink as well. And then adding a little bit of text stamping. This is a Tim Holtz stamp, and then just deciding on which die cuts I wanted to use, and I kind of played around with a few and then decided I would go with like an art supply theme on this card because of the really pretty coloured dots. It just kind of had a bit of an artsy feel. So I've stuck those down. These die cuts do make creating this kind of tag just so easy. And then I'm using the Stabilo All pencil just to outline those things, just to help them stand off the background a little bit, just by putting a shadow on one side. And then water activating that shadow. And like I've said before, if you feel that your shadow line is too dark, while it's wet, you can blot it with a piece of tissue and just lift some of the pigment off, and it will just soften it a little bit. But actually you can see now they are much better, they're much clearer to see. Then I'm just going in and adding a few dots of white pen in some places on the tag as well. Just continuing to build those layers really. So I've got the stenciling, the stamping, the die cut pieces, and then a little bit of doodling and mark making that goes on there too. And then I've grabbed a quote from the sticky pad of quotes from Marlene as well. And I'm just snipping that so it fits into the space. And then just going to pop the little tab on the top. And then obviously these tags do get a piece of sari ribbon through them as well, but that was this tag pretty much finished. So the finished product had those lovely die cut images of those arty things on there. I really like those. I think this is one of my favourites so far. I hope you're enjoying this little series. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again soon.